To the broadcast by the Florida Aviation Network from our location at the Sun and Fun campus at the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo for 2021. Yes, we're back. We're back. We missed it last year, but we're back this year with even more fun and excitement at the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo. My name is Ron Timmermans. I'm one of the many hosts broadcasting for the Florida Aviation Network, and I'm enjoying the fact that you're with us today and listening to us. We've got a number of interesting interviews that we're bringing to you with some aviation personalities and other leaders in the community. And today I'm joined by Mr. Justin LaFerriere, who is the Senior Visitor Services Manager for the Central Florida's Visitor Organization. So, Justin, thank you so much for joining us today. And let me try again your last name, LaFerriere. Perfect. I did it right that time. I think I messed it up the first time. I apologize for that. Well, thank you for joining us. I know you've been with us on previous interviews, and thank you for coming back again and gracing us with your presence and telling us a little bit about the Central Florida visitors. So you're a longtime resident of the Lakeland and Central Florida area, right? I am, Rob. First off, thank you for having me back. I appreciate the opportunity always to come talk to you, the folks like yourself and the fine folks here with the Florida Aviation Network. So I appreciate the opportunity. But to answer your question, yeah, I've been a long-time Polk County resident here in Central Florida. Actually, I'm going to be 35 in a couple weeks, so going on 30 years almost. I've been here in Central Florida's Polk County. Love it. Raising a young family here, so I'm happy to be here. Sure. Good. So you have a spouse and a young daughter, as I recall. I do. I met the love of my life in college here at Florida Southern, right down the road here from Southern Fun, and we've got a beautiful young daughter, 3-year-old Lincoln, who we're building a brand new home here in Lakeland, so we're putting down roots and raising a family right here. No better place that I can think of here in Lakeland and Polk County. Very good. Well, we're delighted to have you with us today. So tell us a little bit about the organization for whom you work and that you're representing today. Absolutely. Thank you, Ron, for the chance. So I work for Visit Central Florida. I get the opportunity to run the Central Florida Visitor Information Center, which is under that umbrella of Visit Central Florida, And we are quite simply the destination marketing organization for Polk County. In cities, counties, regions, there's destination marketing organizations like ourselves, and their job, just like ours, our mission quite simply is to put heads in beds and make cash registers ring. So what it's all about for us is we're in the tourism industry, and my boss likes to say that tourism is an export because we bring in new money and we export memories. So it's our job to get new money here to the county, get individuals to stay in our short-term accommodations, and partake in all the best that Polk County has to offer, including the Sun and Fun international flight. So it is an import-export business, then it is. Okay. If you want looking at it, if you want to drill down into some economic terms, absolutely, it is an import-export business. When you look at it in the sense of bringing in new money to the county, generating revenue, whether that be through short-term accommodations, whether that be at attractions, restaurants, shops, whatever the case may be. As long as it's new money, we'll take it. And then, of course, we hope that those individuals have a great time while they're here. They make those memories. They go back and tell their friends and family about it. Hopefully, they come back and do it again, but bring some more friends and family home. So how do you measure the import part of your business? In number of tourists or in dollars or some other way of measuring it? Great question. It is difficult to count the number of bodies. We thankfully have a great partner in a market research firm that does their level best at doing that for us. But really, the bottom line for us goes down to the tourism tax. So it's a 5% bed tax that's levied on all short-term accommodations. So when I say short-term, think 6 months or less. Hotel, motels, vacation rental homes, bed and breakfast, RVs, and campgrounds. And that's a 5% tax only levied on those. So we're not taking any county taxpayers' money. So like myself that live here in Polk County, we're not paying for organizations like the one I work for. So I like to tell people that if we're not doing our job of putting heads in beds, then we're not funded and we're not operable. So as long as we're doing our job and doing it well, putting heads in beds, then we're here to stay. And thankfully, we've been doing it pretty well now for going close to 25 years, and we intend to do it for much longer as well. Well, that's good incentive, I guess. So you should pay your own way by the work that you do.
Absolutely. I take a little solace in, not solace, a little bit, in the individuals that come into our visitor information center up at I-4 and 27, and they oftentimes like to say, well, this is what my tax dollars go into. Well, no, it's not. We're not coming out of the general fund for the Polk County. We're not taking out of the property taxes that are being paid for the county. So we only operate off of that 5% tax that's levied on those short-term accommodations. And the amount of impact that we generate through those dollars, when you look at the impact in terms of sales tax generated from tourism into the county, I mean, you're talking $25 million plus a year, if not more, in sales tax revenue, just sales tax revenue into the county.
So these are people that come in as visitors to Polk County that buy things and generate sales tax, generate sales tax on their purchases, sales tax of $25 million a year.
Yeah, if not more. Yeah.
Wow. So do you need to put you in for a raise if you're going to be successful?
If my boss is listening, please do so. Please do so.
We didn't plan this. It just happened to come out of my mouth.
No.
That's good. Well, that's quite a success. So over the past years, has that revenue gone up, down, or did you have a hiccup last year?
So over the years, going into leading up to the pandemic in March of last year, through the month of February 2020, so right before the pandemic hit, we were on pace for our 7th record year in terms of tax collections here in Polk County. And thankfully, obviously, just like everybody else, I should say, I was leading into my point after this, obviously we dipped into the pandemic and saw some pretty low points. Thankfully, others around us, we weren't as bad as others around us. Let me rephrase that. I don't want to delight in anybody's misfortunes by any means, but because of the way that we operate, the way we're led, and that's a credit to our boss and the TDC board and our leadership, and the way we put some money into the coffers. So, for instance, it's like this, not that anybody planned on a pandemic, but we were okay. We were able to weather the storm, I guess is a good way to put it. And now that we've started to see a light at the end of the tunnel, almost over a year now since that pandemic hit, I'm happy to say that February 2021 was our second best February in history. And we're on pace for arguably our third or fourth best in history for this entire year. So there is a positive count here. Our fiscal runs October to September. So through September 2021, we're on pace to have our third or fourth best year on record.
Wow. I imagine you're seeing the resurgence of tourism just in the last few months.
Absolutely, yeah. The research is, for us, it all starts with research. We drill down and we're very much data driven. And up to 2 months ago, it wasn't as rainbows and unicorns, if you will, for lack of a better phrase. There's our video showcasing Central Florida's Polk County, but up until about 2 months ago, the research was showing that it wasn't quite as great as what the research is showing now, for lack of a better term. Our research now is forecasting a very strong summer. Obviously, like I mentioned, February was great. We expect March and April, because of sun and fun, to be great as well. As we look to our summer months, the consumers are ready to travel. They're ready to get out. People are, not that they're tired of being at home with their families, but they're ready to get out with their families. They're ready to travel and see something besides the four walls of their home that they've been in for close to a year, if not longer. So we're hoping that they choose Central Florida's Polk County when they decide to get out in the next summer months, in the coming summer months, I should say. So we're expecting a strong summer season for sure.
That's great. That's great. So when some people think of Polk County, if they understand or recognize it, they'll think of Legoland. But there are other cities in the area as well. What other cities in Polk County that are of significance here?
So our name, a lot of people ask why we're called Central Florida and not Polk County. The easy answer is we were the first one to get the name. So no, but when we're doing our job in marketing the destination out of Florida, really, if you tell somebody to point at Polk County on a map, they can't really do it. Sometimes we're confused with Polk County in Iowa. There happens to be a Polk County up there as well, but in Central Florida, you can't get very much more central than Polk County itself. But as you mentioned, Ron, Legoland is our biggest municipality of the 17 that we have here in Polk County. People will probably know Winter Haven, home to what was Cypress Gardens, now home to Legoland Florida Resorts, one of, I believe, 6 worldwide Legoland Florida Resort Theme Parks, is right there in Winter Haven on the grounds that used to be Cypress Gardens. And then we've got some other smaller municipalities like Haines City and Auburndale, Fort Meade, Lake Wales, Davenport, where the Visitor Information Center is located. So we're home to 17 municipalities. We're a 2,000 square mile county. It takes about an hour to traverse one side to the other by car. So it is a very large county. We're larger than the state of Rhode Island. So there is a ton of opportunity here for any leisure travelers, sports and special events, group travelers, whoever. If you want to come stay here, come stay with us, because you can pretty much see and do everything that Florida has to offer.
So we have some people that are probably watching today that enjoy flying seaplanes, float planes.
Yeah.
Would there be anywhere they could come here in Polk County to land their airplanes?
I'm glad you asked.
Tarmac.
I'm glad you asked, Ron. We are home to 554 lakes in this county.
I want to make sure we emphasize that. 554 lakes.
Absolutely.
In the county.
In the
where
county.
You can land a seaplane.
Absolutely.
And
I don't know. Don't quote me on all 554 being landable for a seaplane, but there's a ton of water.
There's a ton of water.
There's a ton of water. We are home. We are the water ski capital of the world here in Polk County. We're the largemouth bass fishing capital of the world. So just those two monikers in general pretty well sum up the amount of water that there is here in Polk County. But our claim to fame is the chain of lakes in Winter Haven, 28 plus lakes interconnected by canals. So if you want to get out on the water and enjoy it, there is plenty of opportunity to do it right here in Polk County.
Yes, indeed. And we just saw some B-roll footage of some restaurants right on the water, and I had the pleasure of eating at some of the restaurants in Polk County on the water. And it's just something peaceful and wonderful about dining in a restaurant right at the water's edge. There's loads of people out there enjoying water recreation sports and seeing airplanes land and take off in the water as well. Of course, I'm an aviator, and I'm not real nut about that. By chance, are you an aviator?
I am not.
Can we fix that, Justin?
Potentially. You know, my wife may not allow me to get into it, especially now that we have that 3-year-old girl at home, but I'm not adverse to it. We'll say that. Okay. So I'm open to it.
Well, you're in a great place for aviation if you choose to do it. There's a lot of flight schools, and as you probably heard, the gentleman that precedes you in this interview, Mr. Klump, with the Polk State College and Aviation program, there's lots of places to learn how to fly, and ample opportunities to fly in Polk County if you're a land-based airplane. There's those 17 municipalities. I think at least 4 of them have airports, maybe more. 4 or 5.
At least 4.
Yeah.
Could be more.
Yeah, I'm thinking of Winter Haven, Lakeland, Bartow.
Yeah.
And Lake Wales.
Yep.
And so all those 4. And then of those 550 lakes, we've got lots of places for seaplanes to fly or amphibs to fly. So absolutely. Maybe it's in your future. Don't count it out.
I won't, by any means.
And that might be also something great to introduce Youngest Lincoln to sometime as well.
Sure.
So let me return back to the pandemic. So we kind of understood the gist of the pandemic in the March-April timeframe of 2020.
Sure.
And so prior to that, you said you were on a rapid increase or a fairly substantial increase in tourism.
Absolutely.
And then it tapered off. Did it go to zero, or did it just...
It did not. It did not. Thankfully, it did not go to zero. April was our low point. So thankfully we had about half of March before things really shut down. We lost a couple weeks of spring training from the Detroit Tigers during that month. Our largest sporting event is a collegiate spring training invitational for baseball. We lost a couple of weeks of that as well. So thankfully we had half of March, the other half not so great. April we really bottomed out, and then it started to come back up in May. Things started to loosen up restriction-wise. There was a little bit more movement, not so much on the leisure side, but on the youth sports and special event side. We were really one of the first destinations back in market on that side of the sports and special events. Due in large parts, like I mentioned, with our data-driven research, we constructed 3 documents during that downtime in April. We had a really comprehensive health and safety plan that we developed alongside our 17 municipalities. We had a really comprehensive research plan with national, international, and local driven research, and then, of course, a brand new marketing plan that we developed, because we really had to kind of turn things in the way we marketed the destination and really focus on that health and safety aspect. So our marketing plan and our health and safety plan really went hand in hand. to ensure that, when we had the opportunity to reopen in late May, early June, to those sports and special events, we were ready to go. And thankfully, because of that, we were, like I mentioned, one of the first destinations back in market. And as we started to open back up, the sporting events really buoyed us in terms of tax collections, because it's taken quite a while, arguably up until these last few months, for leisure travel to really kind of open back up and start to really generate some more tax collection.
But you do see leisure travel on the upswing now?
We do, thankfully. I liken our second best record, or second best in February, to that leisure travel market really starting to open back up. Really, at our visitor information center at Davenport, we get the opportunity to talk to people from all over the world on a daily basis. And over February, March, even now into April, just the number of bodies through the door, you can start to physically see there's more people out, there's more people moving. Even if you're just driving from point A to point B in Polk County, you can tell there's more cars on the road as well. So just those little small signs, while if you think of them individually, may not seem that significant, but to us in the tourism industry, when you think of them holistically, for us it means that there's more people in destination, there's more people traveling, signs are pointing in the right direction.
Other than the traffic congestion, isn't it great to see more people out again?
It is.
And I'm one of them. I'm just delighted to get out after feeling like I was in prison for several months of 2020.
Sure.
Doing the right thing, safety, precautionary, and the like. But now to be able to get out and to have been vaccinated, it's a great relief. And hopefully we have seen the last of this pandemic, or at least taking off. And we'll get back to whatever the new normal is. I mean, it's going to be different than 2020, I'm sure.
We fully expect consumers to have that same sentiment coming into the summer months. So we're hoping for a strong season.
So tell me, I've often hear about Visit Florida, a statewide consortium that does similar work to you. Do you work hand in hand with them? Or are you in competition and collusion, or how does it work?
So we do work hand in hand. So Visit Florida is a destination marketing organization. They're just charged with doing what we do on a much broader scale. So they market the entire state as a destination. And then we market specifically our destination of Central Florida's Polk County. So while Visit Florida encompasses the entire state, there's other organizations like ourselves that market specific destinations within the state. So we're really doing the same thing. If you think of it, Visit Florida helps us get people to the state itself. There's 50 states to choose from in this country. There's 67 counties to choose from in the state of Florida. There's 17 municipalities to choose from in our county alone. So we don't mind if they choose one municipality over the other, as long as they choose our county out of the other 67. So Visit Florida gets them here along with us. A lot of other destination marketing organizations like ourselves get people to the state, but we try to get individuals that Visit Florida gets to the state. We try to pull them into our county and get them to stay in our destination longer and spend more money while they're here.
Yeah, well, that's great. Heads on beds, as you call it.
You got it. Heads on beds and cash registers ringing.
I understand. So for those of our guests that are watching that either are here at Sun and Fun or coming to Sun and Fun, is there anything that they can see or do here that would help them understand what's available in Central Florida?
Absolutely. We're actually operating a visitor information center here on site.
Here at Sun and Fun?
Right at Sun and Fun. We're directly across from Hangar A. We're the big blue building with a yellow roof that you can't miss. We hope you stop by and see us. We've got all the information on anything and everything to see and do in Polk County. We've got discounted attraction tickets to a lot of the local attractions, even some of the regional attractions that aren't local. We can sell those tickets right here on site and help you out with a discount. Even if you're just looking for some cold AC, we've got AC in the building. We've got a fresh glass, fresh Florida squeezed orange juice right on site, free samples. So come on out, say hi to us. We're happy to let you in the building and enjoy the AC, even if you just want to hang out. But we've got all the information on anything to see and do for the event as well. So not only are we destination information, but we're event information as well. We're not going to turn anybody away. We'll find the answer for you if we can. We'll call somebody who knows the answer.
Very good, very good. This is right outside of Hangar A.
Right across from Hangar A.
Right across from Hangar A. So we can do a little bit of air conditioning comfort on today. It's going to be 90 degrees. That'd be a good spot to at least stop in for a few minutes.
Absolutely.
And get some orange juice and learn more about things that you can do and see in Central Florida. Give us like 2 or 3 destinations in Central Florida that might attract people if they haven't already come here for Sun and Fun.
Yes, hopefully they're here this week for Sun and Fun. All right, I'll give you 5 quick ones if that's okay. Our top 5 attractions are Legoland Florida Resort, as I mentioned, one of the largest theme park resorts for Legoland in the entire world. And that's right at the grounds where Cypress Gardens used to sit. So even if you're not a theme park enthusiast, the old Cypress Gardens are still there. They're protected.
That's a winter haven.
That's a winter haven right on the banks of Lake Eloise. They've got a great ski show right there on site, a newly created stunt show that they just opened a few weeks ago.
You're talking water skiers?
Water skiers. Whoa. Yeah, that's a very cool show to see. Clock Tower Gardens, home to a 60-bell Carillon Tower, 200-plus acres of botanical gardens on Iron Mountain in Lake Wales. Beautiful to see, especially this time of year. Peak bloom season is mid to late March, so we're just coming out of that peak bloom season. But it's beautiful to see throughout the entire year as well. Of course, Frank Lloyd Wright Architecture, Florida Southern College, my alma mater. We're the largest single-site collection of Frank Lloyd Wright architecture in the world in one site. Safari Wilderness is an African-style safari here in Lakeland. So if you want to come see some lemurs and some water buffalo and ostrich and all kinds of different animals, Safari Wilderness is the place to do it. And then, of course, Westgate River Ranch out east of Lake Wales is the home to the largest working dude ranch in the southeast U.S. right now, and they operate a championship-style rodeo every Saturday night.
Every Saturday. I've been there before. Now, that's one. They have an airport there. So
they do. Yeah, they do.
That airport. Yeah. That's a pretty cool place as well. So those are several places that you and your family and friends can come to as you emerge from the pandemic and want to visit Central Florida and particularly Polk County. Justin has got a number of places for you to visit, and then there's other places that, in addition to these 5 that he mentioned, all of these included in brochures that you can take a look at when you go to the on-site visitor center here at Sun and Fun. So it'll be a great opportunity for you to spend some time here and be one of those heads on beds that Justin is looking for, along with all the folks here at Central Florida visitors. So couple last things here. So if you're looking at I was going to ask you. I know what I was going to ask you. So you've had a number of visitors, I'm sure, from within Florida who come to Central Florida and probably from outside of Florida and other states of the U.S. Sure. Are any of them memorable that someone came here and said, hey, I'm from such and such and came here to look at so-and-so? Anything come to mind there?
That's a great question. I've been in this business now for 13-plus years, so I've met a lot of people from a lot of different countries. Unfortunately, there's not one that sticks out in my mind. Where we're located at the Visitor Information Center, just south of Interstate 427 there, we get a lot of UK, Latin American travelers, Canadian travelers. Those are our 3 biggest international markets. We've had individuals from Australia, pretty much any country in Southeast Asia you can think of, the Middle East. Almost, if you point a finger on a map, we probably had somebody from that country come through the doors of our Visitor Information Center there in Davenport. And most of the time, they're looking to get away from the hustle and bustle of our neighbors in Tampa and Orlando, and they want to find something different than the theme parks. And thankfully, Polk County has plenty to offer and plenty of different, if you will, for them to enjoy.
Indeed it does. So if you are looking for some place to go, other than Sun and Fun, where you're probably at now or wanting to go, consider Central Florida. And Justin LaFerriere from the Central Florida Visitor Information Center, thank you so much for joining us today and telling us about your mission and your purpose, as well as some of the things to do in Central Florida. It's an intriguing place, and if you haven't been here before, you need to come and try it out. If you've been here before, well, you know what it's like, and you should come back. Thank you so much for joining us. I'm Ron Timmermans, one of the hosts for the Florida Aviation Network, broadcasting live and in the clear from the Sun and Fun Aerospace Expo campus, Lakeland Airport, Lakeland, Florida. Thanks for joining us. Come back again.